Hey guys, Jeff Horton here at WeBuyHouses.com with
Mike Van Orden, WeBuyHouses.com.
It's a pleasure to join you today. This is a new program that we've started this week at We Buy Houses, and the intent of this program is a relatively short little video clip that gives you guys up-to-date news about what's going on in We Buy Houses. And so wanted to just kind of we'll just jump into it. It's our first show, so kind of making it up as we go along.
Just kind of extemporaneous, fly by the seat of our pants.
That
kind
could
of
be
thing.
dangerous.
It could be.
That could be dangerous. I should give
Especially
Mike
this guy. He's such a, well, no, I'll be nice.
give you
I'll be nice. It's our first show.
Should give you a script.
I'll cut you some slack.
Okay.
All right, a script. What are you talking about? I'm Mr. Unscripted. All right.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, we're going to jump into kind of what's. Oh, do you have something to say?
No, I was waiting on you to say something.
But you went.
No, I was just to throw you off. I was trying to, and it worked.
And
it worked.
did
It
well.
worked. It worked.
Succeeded.
Works
Okay,
every time.
so we're going to jump into to our program today. Oh wow! I tell you what, it's hard. We've been laughing, but we're gonna. Our first topic is a relatively a very serious topic, and so we just want a shout out to our licensees who are down in South Texas. As you guys are all well aware, unless you don't have television or internet or anything else, that Hurricane Harvey hit South Texas last weekend, and it's just been devastating.
It's a tragedy. Yeah, it's bad.
And we got a lot of guys down there.
Yeah.
Gabe Rodriguez and his team down in Corpus took the brunt of it, and then we got
Chris
and Brent in Houston. Matt Shaw's got a lot of that South Central Texas territory. Matt said everything.
He said it's all good, but we haven't heard from Chris Euler, right?
Yeah, we hope to hear from Chris pretty soon. I think he's okay. He said his house didn't typically flood, so
that's good news.
You know what they had in Houston was I heard they had 1 trillion gallons of water.
Trillion tons? Is it tons or gallons?
They said it was the equivalent of 15 days of Niagara Falls running.
It's unfathomable.
It's like Houston's at the base of Niagara Falls, and for 15 days.
Yeah. And they were saying Houston is like a swimming pool, the way that it sits, so the water just congregates, and there's really there's nowhere for it to go.
Wow.
But it's anyway. I mean, thank God the rain's over.
Yeah, it sounds like everybody is safe. I don't think any of our guys, had any sort of injury or things like that. I did talk to Gabe Rodriguez. He's our Corpus guy, and recently came up and they were just killing it down in Corpus.
Yeah, they're crushing it.
So he came up and licensed Dallas-Fort Worth. I have Arlington, a little pocket in there, but most of it now is Gabe Rodriguez. So he's just getting started up here, and this is a big setback. For Gabe. Here's what I heard. I did get a report from Gabe. Gabe's house, and I'll put a map up on the screen so people can kind of get the idea. Gabe's house is on Padre Island. And that's right. So Corpus Christi. I'll put the map on the screen, but and if you saw that hurricane coming in, it was just aimed right at Corpus and Padre. It actually looks like as it hit, it kind of went just a little bit north, and what got nailed was an island like Padre. It's called Port Aransas.
Port Aransas, okay.
And then Rockport is inland.
Okay.
And basically what Gabe said is they all week long, they're not doing any work this week. They're volunteering in Port Aransas.
Good for them.
And they call that Port A down there on the coast. And he reported to me that on Port Aransas, 100% of the structures are damaged or gone. And so this was a massive storm, and you saw the eye hit it. And I understand that most of the intensity is right there around the eye. So that's what came across Port Aransas and.
Well, they said they had I think gusts of 150, 160.
Yeah,
if you think about going down the road at 150 miles an hour and stick your head, even at 80 or 90, you stick your head out the window. But it's sustained winds for hours.
Can you imagine?
Anyway, it's just.
But the people down there are, it's a disaster.
Yeah, it's terrible.
The president declared that area of Texas a disaster zone, and so it can get the the required assistance.
It looks like the response has been, I mean, I know the governor is saying that it's going as well as it could right now, the disaster relief, so that's good. Yeah,
man. So here's what Gabe told me. They had 12 active projects going on, rehabs, investments. He had just bought 2 new houses on Padre Island that they hadn't even started, I don't think, and 12 active, all of them sustained damage. None of them like gone, but a lot of them have been damaged. Gabe's house is on Padre Island, and he told us that his roof was destroyed. A lot of other damage, but the house is there, and the house really wasn't breached. Like the roof is still on it. It was just kind of all the shingles and everything ripped off. So thank God that that was my biggest fear as I saw that coming, and knowing where Gabe lived, is that Gabe and his family are going to drive.
Walk out to a slab and
be like,
there's nothing there, And it's
so
thank God.
Thank God for that. I think there are little blessings in the midst of a very big.
Well, the humanity of it. I mean, to see the video of people literally being saved live on the air, a reporter dropping the camera, the microphone, and I saw him pull someone out of a truck. The guy would have drowned. I mean, he drove into a ravine. He thought it was the road. He thought it was a wet road, but it was 12 feet deep. And he was probably in his 60s, maybe 70, and the guy would have probably not survived that. So just the humanity of it is, that's the...
I guess the
flip side of it.
Hopefully it brings out the best in most people. So I was just seeing if Gabe any other notes for me. I asked him about when something like that happens and you have now all this destruction, and everybody now, I'm sure, waking up the next day thinking, how quickly can I get this fixed, and so you can imagine the demand for crews, for resources, for stuff at Home Depot, and so one of the things that I asked him about that, and he said they actually have full-time crews, so their crews wouldn't be hired by somebody, to go, like, they're not going to call up their crew and say, sorry, we're already fixing somebody else's house. So they've got the crews. I'm concerned about them getting stuff they need, shingles and plywood and lumber and stuff. So,
well, just the fuel for the vehicles.
Fuel for vehicles.
I mean, I went to get gas today in Fort Worth and sold out. I mean, if we're having that impact up here, you can only imagine what it's like down there.
In Port Aransas, he said there's 3,300 residences, 3,300 people that live there. They welcome 120 to 150,000 visitors at any given time, is the way I understood it. Maybe a year, but it sounded like, most of Port Aransas is tourism. A lot of, obviously, Padre Island, Corpus Christi. This is a market where a lot of their money down there is made from tourism.
Right.
And when your place on the coast is ruined or destroyed, or it just needs a ton of work, and all that stuff comes to a stop. So
absolutely, the economy just takes it.
The economy. So he and I were talking. I was like, wow, this is gonna. What are you thinking? Is this months or years? And he very quickly came back and said, this is going to take years to recover from.
Absolutely.
So
it's catastrophic.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody down there.
Absolutely, they do.
Whether they're involved with us or not, we just don't worry about you guys, and good to hear that most of there was limited loss of life.
Yeah, that's great.
One other thing that he told me that I thought was interesting. Gabe is a broker, and so he has wealth of real estate knowledge, and he said he may be an agent, not a broker. Check me on that, but. He said that once the government declares an area a disaster zone, that any property that you had in escrow must be re-inspected and reappraised. So every real estate deal that was going on in Houston, Harris County, all those counties down there, all the way down to Galveston, all the way over to past Corpus, anything that was in escrow is now, in essence, back out of escrow. And so you can imagine if you're a homeowner. The other thing I heard, Mike, 80 to 85% of people in that area do not have flood insurance. Not their fault.
Right.
The insurance companies
Right.
make flood insurance extraordinarily unaffordable if you might have a flood.
Yeah.
You know how insurance works. They want to make sure they don't. If they are going to pay you, they make sure
Right.
you pay them
Right.
all that money first,
Right.
and then they'll give it back to you.
I would imagine that there will be some type of FEMA. There'll be some.
There's got to be.
There will be some type of assistance. I heard them, Dr. Carson talking about it. Ben
Yeah.
Carson is. They were talking about assistance for those homeowners. So let's hope
Yeah.
that
You can just imagine just the disruption. So it isn't what we talked about. People's ability to go home, people's ability to get gas, passable roadways,
Exactly.
any other resources. People can't get to work. It's just a massive thing. And so I think as we came into the show, we kind of started thinking about what are we going to talk about, what's the news, and I can tell you, the last few days, this hasn't been the news, and so.
It puts things in perspective. I was telling you about water heater went out at the house. I was upset about it, and I started thinking, how am I getting upset at a water heater when there's people whose houses are submerged?
Yeah.
So it puts things in perspective.
It really does.
What those people are going through.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
unreal.
So I think that's kind of what we had on that, and as hopefully we'll hear something from Chris, and I think he's okay. I think those guys are probably just busy.
Just busy.
Doing
A lot going on.
all the things going on down there. So as soon as we hear an update from him, we'll pass that along to you guys on Facebook or whatever. So the other things that we want to talk about in the news is just, since this is our first show, just kind of recap the last few licensees, the last few markets that have come on at We Buy Houses, and just talk about the growth that's going on.
It's incredible because typically June, July, August are dead. I mean, it just is. I mean, people are busy. They're traveling with family. Like I went on vacation. A lot of people go on vacation. They're just not around. But this summer rocked. I mean, we've got licensees that are joining. In fact, I just jotted these counties down. This is just in the last 30, 45 days. Porter County, Indiana, Dallas-Fort Worth, Metroplex, Virginia Beach, Boston, Memphis, Contra Costa, California, Roanoke, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. I mean, it's hopping.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really rocking. The word's getting out. A lot of these new licensees were references from current licensees because they're doing so well. They call their friend in another state and say, hey, you might want to get on board this We Buy Houses train because it's taken off, and it's, they're having incredible results, and it makes me feel so good to be involved with a company that people call up and say, hey, I got a buddy, across the country who's getting great results, that I should probably reach out.
And the interesting thing, the other thing that we've seen in line with that thinking is that how many guys have joined in a market, and you just mentioned like Roanoke and Roanoke and Virginia Beach. So
Virginia Beach, right?
Damon Gettier, he got Roanoke, Virginia, was in there for a couple of months. I think referred one or two other guys, and then came back and said, I want Virginia Beach, Suffolk, that area.
Exactly.
And so,
it's like
what a great area.
Yeah, it's like Gabe in Corpus Christi. Did so well in Corpus Christi, he expanded into Dallas-Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
So he more than quadrupled his territory just from the.
We saw to your point. That is a huge. There is no greater vote of confidence, because if you think about it, if we just rewind a little bit, two of our earlier markets were Boise, Idaho, and Salt Lake. Bob Shaw in Boise, Idaho. He then, he's killing it, right?
Yeah, he's crushing it.
He expands to Seattle and Portland, two markets that both I think are bigger than Boise. So his launch point, was like say a middle-sized market, and went to Seattle and to Portland.
That's incredible.
And now he's in three markets. Paul and John.
Bill H for the San Diego.
In Salt Lake City, they just expanded. Well, not that. It's been a couple of months.
Yeah, but still they
expanded to San Diego,
which is highly competitive, but they're doing incredibly well. I mean, it speaks a lot about the brand and differentiation. What's going to differentiate you from all these, yahoos that are out there going to seminars, and all of a sudden they're an investment pro, and they go out there. Nothing. The only differentiating factor, because they're saying the same things that all these other people are saying, is the brand, and just having that WeBuyHouses.com, and it can make all the difference. Because how does a seller know? How can they differentiate? Because they're all getting postcards in the mail, they're all getting letters in the mail, and they're looking at it and they're going, well, they all look the same, except when they see that WeBuyHouses.com. I've had so many licensees tell me that's why the seller called, is they saw it and they go, oh, I've heard of them. Because perception is reality in this business. And being top of mind where people, it resonates with them, can make all the difference. I've heard of them.
And I think, real estate, we went through that crash in 07 to 10, really started, I guess, 2008 to 2010, but market came back. We actually acquired We Buy Houses at the end of 2012 and launched it in 2013 under our ownership. And the real estate market since 2013 has gone nuts. I mean, like in my market, price per square foot's up about 35% in those 4 years.
Yep.
So it's a pretty good growth. And then just like we see in this area, we see it all over the country that inventory is low. And so that is a challenge, and just not enough houses for people, and that's causing prices to rise. And it makes our game a little more challenging. And then throw on to top of that, you've got a relatively low barrier to entry for someone to say they buy real estate.
Exactly.
Right? They go to a seminar, they get a $99 website, and they're now a real estate investor. And so we had this tightening market, and then we had increasing competition. And what came out of that is the brand became more valuable and more important. And I often say, look, if you walked into the grocery store and there were only 2 brands of soap, it'd be a pretty easy decision. But you walk in a grocery store, and I sometimes I'll take shots of just how many ketchups there are, how many how many laundry detergents there are. Our choices today are sometimes overwhelming, and the way that we downsize the set is we look for something that's familiar, comfortable, trustworthy.
That's right.
And so, I often say to our licensees that, when I go to a house to meet with a homeowner, they haven't invited 10 of us to come over.
No.
They've invited 2 or 3. They may have called 10, they may have filled out 20 forms, who knows? That's why you should call them back the moment they fill out your form. But
instantaneous,
but that I just think the brand is even more important than it was 3 years ago. And it's way stronger and we're in 55 markets in 27 states and growing, and so the brand continues to grow at a national level.
Right. And I was talking to Stephen Johnson, our licensee down in Waco area yesterday. We spoke for about an hour. Super sharp guy. And he was saying that, when he talks to that homeowner on the phone, having that WeBuyHouses.com brand, I mean, it's having an instant authority. And they just, and Stephen, he's really good on the phone, and he was talking about how he immediately, when he's talking to that seller, he exudes authority on so when you combine the two, they've called someone at WeBuyHouses.com, and then having that confidence on the phone of being with WeBuyHouses.com, I mean, it comes across to that seller. It really does.
It really does.
And it resonates with them. So so they've got the choice between WeBuyHouses.com, someone who sounds intelligent, authoritative. They've got the brand versus some guy that just went to a get-rich-quick in real estate seminar and just can't quite compete. It's really
he's a master. We'll do a show here soon with Steven. I listened to one of his calls the other day, and you guys know when somebody calls you, the leads are so valuable and so important. You want to get out there and make an offer on the house as quickly as possible. But this guy calls him, and he says they're either getting or had gotten a divorce, and he wanted Stephen to come by and say what he'd give him for the house.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Stephen says, "Yeah, that's not how it works."
Exactly. Right.
And the guy was, and then he said, "Here's how it works.
Right,
this is what I do.
Exactly.
You need you and your ex need to be there, or it's not worth it."
That's right.
And so if both decision makers aren't there, I'm not coming out. If you're just looking for somebody to come out and appraise your house, I'm not your guy.
That's it.
But the cool thing was, he was nice. Like, it wasn't like he
No,
was
it wasn't being demeaning or condescending.
He was just
setting the stage. This is how.
It's nice that you called me. Let me tell you how this really works.
Because remember, they're calling you. They're reaching out to you, right? You're not cold calling them. They're saying, "Hey, I need help," right?
Yeah.
So you're there to buy their home. It's not the other way around.
Well, I think to your point, if you call somebody. And they're a professional, you don't really know how their thing works.
Right.
And when you're talking to them, they do need to have some degree of authority, or you may not respect them or think they're the right guy.
That's absolutely
And
correct.
so I think a lot of times we want to be in that top 2 or 3 that get invited to the house. I think the brand is getting us called, it's getting us contacted, it's getting forms filled out. The way that we professionally handle that incoming lead to result in an appointment, or if the guy's just fishing, maybe not,
Yeah.
but to result in an appointment and then follow that all the way through. People feel that they can trust We Buy Houses.
Right, and it's the congruency, and we've talked about the time from the minute the phone call is picked up and you get on the phone, the professionalism on the phone. When you meet with them, you show up. You've got nice We Buy Houses, polo or jacket on. You show up. You've got the We Buy Houses card. All the material that we have to hand out is professionally done. It's that congruency of all and it all the synergistic effect of all those things together. It almost makes you're the only option.
Yeah. I've been telling, like when I was onboarding these guys that just joined us in Indiana, Eli and Alex, and we were talking, and I said, look, in the old days, people thought if you put car magnets on your car that people would call you, and we knew that people don't call you from car magnets. But here's what I told them. I said, look, here's the deal. When I get an appointment, I got my car magnets in the floorboard in the back seat. About a few, and I sometimes roll around with them on. They just don't create calls. Yeah. But I'll stick the car magnets on, park in front of the house, walk up to the door. I've got 2 brochures, 2 business cards, because it's usually a man and wife. I like to show you hand the man the business card and not the wife. You know what I mean? So I kind of say, this is me, this is me. And the brochure explains how we work compared to, say, listing your house with a realtor and things like that. Mm-hmm. But I was talking to those guys that said, nobody else is doing that. Not even the ugly guys are doing that, right? They don't roll up with that kind of professional presentation. Now, I mean them no harm, because I think they are very professional. But we have a brand that, everything matches and everything goes together, and it says professionalism and it says trust.
Yes, it does.
And I always say our brand is an umbrella of trust under which you as a professional can exceed at what you do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And we give them all the tools that they need to go out and be successful. Yeah. And that's really what it's about. So.
Well, boy, we get going on and on. We have a lot more news than we thought. Mike, you get Mike talking.
I know. Just can't help myself. But hopefully there's some wisdom in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think
from me, not him. But of course. So upcoming events.
Let's talk about upcoming events. We've got this is intended for our licensees, but it's a public video. So if you're not a licensee, just kind of tell you these are for our licensees, but just to show you kind of what we do for our guys. We just had last week a webinar for AdWords, where we had an AdWords Google partner on our agency, helping the guys figure out how to excel at AdWords. On September 7th, we're having an SEO webinar, and this actually will feature Jeremy Brandt, our CEO, who is an expert at search engine optimization. We've been doing it for about 15 years in this business. So I don't know if there's anyone else that would have that qualification. So SEO, and then on September 19th, we're doing a social media webinar. You know the guys that do our videos, the guys that very, very professional, very cool. They are actually creating some new forms of content designed for social media. So different types of images, videos, other things that you can post into Facebook.
And then,
yeah, so kind of like our, like you can buy a TV commercial now with your local phone number.
Yep.
Well, they'll sell you a whole package of assets that have your local number and stuff on it. And it just gives our licensees something, when we say this is not going to be expensive either, it's going to be very affordable. And our licensees will then have a nice package of stuff. But beyond that, so we'll be announcing that and showing that at the September 19th webinar. We'll also just be talking about social media strategy. We're going to talk about a lot about Facebook. I mean, Facebook right now, online in our business, the two things that are important are Google and Facebook.
And we've got a couple licensees that have been able to monetize Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Who've actually done really well with Facebook. I mean, it's not easy, but there's a way to make it
We
work.
have Travis and Janie Schurer, they're our licensees out in Las Vegas. Where were we at? 27,000 crew?
Is that right?
27,000 followers on the Las Vegas We Buy Houses Facebook page.
It's quite impressive.
He can put a video out there and boost it for $20 and have 10,000 people watch it.
It's incredible.
That's nuts. In the world of advertising,
it is. I
you
mean,
spend $20-$40, usually you don't get anything.
No, you don't, nothing. And they're going to cover that on the...
whatever
We're
you talk about
go
that.
through that. So that's a huge benefit.
Travis and Janie have more followers than all the other licensees. I'm poking you guys in the side. Than all the rest of you combined. So again,
get with it.
We don't want it to look that way. A year from now, we want everybody to have that. Maybe not 27,000, but
at least a few thousand.
Yeah,
it's totally doable. It's totally.
But you get there by doing 50 and then 100, and then you just go from there. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, "Well, we only have 100 followers." And I was like, "You have 100 more than zero." And you don't have to have that many to boost a post.
No, you don't.
I'm getting off track.
But so
September 7th, September 19th. Nashville is every fall we have, as Mike well knows, a mastermind conference in a cool place. In April we do it here, so it's like the young place.
And it's awesome.
No, it was very cool.
No, it was cool.
April at Fort Worth was wonderful.
Yeah, it was.
Here's what's coming. October 10th through 12th is our Nashville We Buy Houses Mastermind in Nashville. It's going to be an amazing event. We've got just great things planned.
That's what the one place that has more country music than Dallas.
Really? I don't know.
I think, isn't that? It's Opryland. Is
that
right?
No, I do listen to country now.
Is that right?
I shouldn't say I don't.
Oh, come on, you're a metalhead. Come on.
No.
All right.
Metallica. I'm just kidding. I'm listening to Metallica forever. So I keep looking at this like it has something on.
Yeah, there's nothing on it. Chuck it. Yeah, I know. Why do you keep looking at it?
I'm going to get some new ideas when I'm looking at that thing. But,
oh, Lord.
So, September 7th, SEO, September 19th, social media, October 10th through 12th,
Nashville.
I could have done that at the beginning. We could have cut that whole last 3 minutes.
I know. We went on way too long with this. But it's our first show.
We don't know what we're doing.
It's our first show, and we don't know what we're doing. I know what I'm doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. So.
But I think that's it. I mean,
that's it. I mean,
I'll tell you some of the things just to prolong the pain. If you can't figure out how to stop this video, we're going to do some more videos. Mike and I did a video a while back, and it was called "Secrets of Successful Investors," Episode 1. That was about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
We got real busy after that.
There is a part 2 coming.
Yeah, there's a part 2 coming, and in fact, that's what we're going to do with Stephen Johnson. Bring him in, and we'll involve him, and we'll be doing more of that in the future, kind of bringing in a licensee. But I think we're going to revive this Secrets of Successful Investors program, so that we can, we'll have episode 2
I think it's great, because nothing's more valuable than hearing what's going on out in the field every day from our licensees, because I get a lot of feedback of what's working, what's not. new technology, new strategy, and I mean, we're going to try to keep you guys apprised of all that.
Most of the time when somebody says, "Oh, I got a secret," they tell it to you. They're just trying to sell you some crap.
But we're not. we don't care. It doesn't matter. You guys are already in the, you're already part of the team. So what do we care?
No, but I do think one of the advantages we have at We Buy Houses is all the guys that join We Buy Houses are professional. They're real estate professionals, and which means we don't hire some guy that's choosing between us and running a sandwich shop. We basically say, if you know what you're doing and you're trying to take your game to the next level, We Buy Houses is right for you, because it does go back to this idea of trust, in that if our guys are a reflection of each other, right? Everybody's part of a collective that helps each other out. They all own exclusive markets, and they're all super, super professional. But it also means it's, some of them know things that other guys don't. Some of them are never going to wholesale flips, some of them have.
And they're very willing to share. I mean, and because there's no fear of competition, because you have an exclusive license. That's the beauty of the way we have it set up, is these guys are very giving, and if they have something that's working, they're very happy to share it.
There's another company that I've heard lately that in Dallas, Fort Worth, they have over 40 franchisees. Now think about that. Dallas, Fort Worth is a great market. It's listed in one of the top markets in some of the magazines, like for real estate investing or the websites. But you're going to cut that pie up into 40 pieces. Oh, by the way, you got to buy each piece, right? So if you don't pay in as much as the other guy, his piece of that pie is bigger than yours.
That's exactly
right.
If
you're not paying the big bucks, your little piece of pie.
That's right.
I wouldn't.
Things aren't going to work too good for you.
I wouldn't do that.
No.
Exclusive
territory.
Later, if you spend the next 5 years building this brand in your market, you turn it into $1 million name. Guess what? You can sell your license.
Sell that
for
license.
$1 million, right? And so.
And you can sub-license. We've had a couple guys. You're a master licensee, and if there's another investor or partner in another part of the state or county that you might not want to travel to, you can sub-license to someone else. And whatever you work out as far as a split or whatever. That's pretty good stuff.
We had more to talk. Mike and I were sitting there earlier, like 10 minutes. How can we talk? I think we're at 35 or something. This happens every time we think we're going to do a 10-minute video.
But hopefully they got something out of it, right?
We're going to edit all this out. We'll just be like, hello, 2 or 3 things.
2 or 3 things. Like a 7-minute video or something after we've done 37. Anyway, we probably should wrap it.
These guys got work show, man. Boom.
See you guys.
Anyhow.